Hi, my name is Lisa Dunaway. I'm a Level 2 certified professional aromatherapist with the National Association of Holistic Aromatherapists. This presentation is going to cover the basics of essential oil quality and safety, which I think you'll find helpful if you're just getting into essential oils or if you've been using them for a long time. Let me start by covering what aromatherapy is, in case you're unfamiliar with that term. Aromatherapy is the use of essential oils on humans for therapeutic reasons. Essential oils are highly aromatic substances found in specialized cells or glands of certain plants. The essential oils that are in our bottles are substances that have been distilled or pressed from the plant. So these oils are highly concentrated. The distillation process really concentrates the oils that can be extracted from certain plants. Or sometimes the oils are literally pressed out of a plant, and you'll often see those labeled as being cold pressed. So that highly concentrated substance, even when used sparingly, can offer immense therapeutic benefits. So who is an aromatherapist? Well, unfortunately, aromatherapy is not a licensed profession in the United States. There are other countries around the world who do license aromatherapists because they recognize that it is a profession that can offer tremendous benefits to people, but can also hurt people if they don't know what they're doing. So unfortunately, right now, anyone can call themselves an aromatherapist in the U.S., as there are no state or national regulations or licensing at this time. I hope that in the future there will be. Although we know that essential oils are very powerful tools and are used to replace medications, we cannot officially recommend that as aromatherapists. So if you work with an aromatherapist, they will probably explain that to you in detail and have you sign a waiver, simply because the laws of the United States do not allow us to proclaim that we are giving you any sort of medical treatment when we use essential oils with you. When you're looking for an aromatherapist to work with, make sure that they're not just a product vendor and they're an actual certified aromatherapist. For example, I have the 235-hour certification from the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapists. Other folks may have other things if they are from Europe, for example, but the training that I have is endorsed by both NAHA and the Alliance of International Aromatherapists. And I would recommend that you look for someone with a similar set of credentials. So now getting into this presentation, these are the topics that I'm going to cover: the intention of aromatherapy, and then quality and safety for essential oil use. So the intention for using essential oils is not just to make a room smell good or to help you sleep, although they are certainly great for those reasons, and a lot of folks use them for those purposes. But using essential oils for therapeutic reasons is not all that strange if you consider that 25% of pharmaceuticals have plants and plant-derived ingredients in them already. So we're actually very used to using plants to treat ourselves for a variety of things. We just may not have known it. So using essential oils is using highly concentrated substances for therapeutic reasons. And the benefits of doing that are emotional, energetic, intellectual, physical, and more. Certified professional aromatherapists like myself are trained to take a holistic view of the body and mind, which is very important to a lot of people these days. They don't want just their symptoms treated. They want someone who knows how to look at the complete terrain of the body and mind and figure out the real root of the problem and see what they can do to help. Quality of essential oils is something I am very, very passionate about, and I hope that that comes through throughout the rest of this presentation. I cannot stress more that the quality of the essential oils that you use is the most important thing that you should consider if you're going to use essential oils with or without the help of a certified aromatherapist. So a lot of the store-bought brands of oils are very low in quality. And you can tell that because they cost so little or they smell kind of fake. And that's a very interesting thing that you will be able to pick up on probably the more you use high quality oils. So for example, in my journey to becoming an aromatherapist, I started to realize that the oils that I had bought in the past from stores or marketing companies were pretty fake in their smell. We are conditioned to smell fake smells and think that that smells great. You know, that apple pumpkin spice smell or that clean cotton smell that you can buy candles and you think, oh, this smells so wonderful. But we're so used to that fake smell that's overpowering that we don't realize what, for example, real lavender smells like. But over time, you can start to pick up on those synthetic notes, that fake smell, and realize that the oils that you have may not be what you think they really are. And you really can only do that if you buy from a reputable company or work with an aromatherapist who uses a reputable company, and then you can compare the two. Even the oils that you find in natural food stores or from multi-level marketing companies are probably somewhat low in quality. That's because, like I said, this is not a regulated industry. So companies can make whatever claims that they want. And some stores take quality more seriously than others. A lot of stores do not employ a certified aromatherapist. There aren't a lot of us out there. So for example, at the time of this recording, there are only 3 certified professional aromatherapists in the state of Indiana, where I am, registered on the NAHA website. So we're few and far between. So I don't think that most store owners are trying to be shady. And a lot of product reps just really like their product. And companies get their loyalty by giving them lots of, quote, free things. So it's just simply that they don't know. They just don't have the training to be a certified aromatherapist. So they can just read anything that the companies put out and believe it. Like I said, there's no regulation. So the companies can just say whatever they want, and people are quite trusting. People have a lot of brand loyalty in the United States. And I would encourage you to be far more skeptical of the brands that you buy than maybe you are right now. Many oils should ideally be made from a part of a plant, but that takes a lot more work. You have to separate that part of the plant from the whole plant and distill or cold press just that part. But a lot of companies aren't going to do that. They just throw in the whole plant, but they charge the same amount for the oil. Why do they do that? Well, especially with the multi-level marketing companies, they have to do that in order to cover their overhead and all the sales and the freebies and the marketing materials and the books and the websites, all these things that they put out. None of those things are really free, right? And sales have to be made up for somehow. So they provide a lower quality product at the same price as a very high quality product from a company that maybe doesn't do all that multi-level marketing. So you're paying in the long run for all those freebies that you get from them because you're getting a lesser quality product. So my recommendation is to shop small and to work with a certified aromatherapist in order to buy the oils that you would like to use. The oils that you find commonly in stores or from these multi-level marketing companies, unfortunately, are probably diluted in some sort of carrier oil so that you probably won't hurt yourself. So that's good, but you still don't really know what's in them. So for example, maybe they are selling you a lavender oil and it is diluted in, it could be a number of things. It could be avocado oil, almond oil, canola oil, but you don't know. They don't list typically what the different ingredients in their oils are, because they claim it's a trade secret. Or if they do, you don't know how much of them are in there. So because they're advocating some of the uses that they are advocating for, like neat application, aka direct use on your skin, they are probably diluted. But you don't know if they're diluted at 1%, 75%. I mean, it could really be anything. So that makes me feel very hesitant to ever recommend the products from multi-level marketing companies and store-bought oils. The companies will not release the makeup of their oils, even to certified aromatherapists when they ask, because they'll claim it's a trade secret. And I've even tried to do that before. When I was doing my final project to become a certified aromatherapist, my final project was to write a paper about how unsafe the practices recommended by these multi-level marketing companies were, particularly on social media. So I tried to request some of the reports on the oils that these companies sell, and they told me no, they wouldn't give me that information because it's a trade secret. You know, it's kind of like the recipe for Coca-Cola. No one knows because it's a trade secret. So you don't really know what you're getting. You don't have no idea if an oil is full strength or if it's diluted. You don't even know what kind of oil is in it. It could be a synthetic oil and not actually from a real plant. You may have heard, but I seriously doubt it because these oils are really good about keeping this information under wraps. But it has even been proven in court that the more well-known multi-level marketing companies use synthetic oils in the things that they sell, even the stuff that they label as organic, which is really sad, but they can do it because there's no regulations and folks are just very trusting. So because of all of these issues, I don't think that you can, in good conscience, recommend these oils to another person. If you want to use them on yourself, do so at your own risk. And some people don't mind. They just want an oil that smells good, and that's perfectly fine. So perhaps you just diffuse the oils in your home. Just make sure you don't do it around pets. Perhaps you make candles. Again, don't burn them around pets. But if you're just interested in having a good smell, that could be perfectly fine for you. Or if your stash of oils is looking not so shiny anymore after having this information, I find that's a good way to use them up, just to diffuse them over time, put them into a soy-based candle, give them away as gifts. Just tell people, hey, don't burn this in front of animals, or don't diffuse this in front of animals. And that's a good way to work through your stash, and as you use stuff up, work with an aromatherapist to replace those oils. If you buy from a reputable company, again, it's still not going to be regulated, but reputable companies are very transparent with the content of their oils. They often don't sell blends that are pre-made, so then they don't have to claim that anything's a trade secret, and they'll be very transparent on their websites with providing all the information. What year was the oil made? What country were the plants grown in? Because, for example, a plant grown in India could be very different from a plant grown in France, even though it's the same species of plant, because of the terrain, the terroir, if we could use a wine term, of the area, provides you with different benefits from a particular oil. But most importantly, a reputable company will provide the GCMS reports not only just for each plant species, but every batch of that plant species that they are selling. So that means gas chromatography, mass spectrometry. And I'll show you at the end a breakdown of all the different chemical components that could be present in oils. And as a certified aromatherapist, we're trained to read that. So that helps us see whether or not the oils that we're buying are really what they're supposed to be. The big companies don't and won't, even upon request, provide those. Again, they'll claim that their blends or oils are a trade secret, but they don't want you to be able to see how much they've diluted their products, or more likely that they have synthetic oils in their products and not oils that are from real plants. So not only do you have no idea where their oils are sourced from, but they are probably full of synthetic components. And again, different chemical profiles are within different oils, even oils made from the same species of plant. So a lavender grown in France can have a very different chemical profile than one grown in India, and also a different smell. Now, the differences aren't going to be as drastic as, say, lavender versus bergamot. Certainly not. But there is a wide spectrum of chemical profiles and smells that can be result from lavender grown in different places, or bergamot grown in different places, eucalyptus grown in different places, etc. So a certified aromatherapist can read those GCMS reports and tell if the oil is what it is supposed to be. And yes, even reputable companies could potentially fake those reports, but if you ever have seen one, they are really something else. And it would be a lot of work to fake those. So the fact that a company is providing those on their website, you don't even have to request them. They're just there. You can download them. And the company that I use in particular provides them for every single batch that they sell. You just match up the numbers. Being overly transparent like that leads me to believe that I can trust a company like that. So now let's shift over a little bit to safety. This is another big passion of mine. I did my final report to become a certified professional aromatherapist on safety, like I mentioned before. So a lot of what you see online and in the marketing materials for popular oil companies recommend very unsafe uses of their oils, such as a neat application, which is a direct application to the skin. They also will recommend that you diffuse oils in a diffuser, which isn't always unsafe, but it can be. And direct ingestion, that is when you are swallowing an essential oil, and I see that recommended a lot from the marketing companies. Why do they do that? Well, it uses a lot of oil for those 3 applications, so then you have to buy a lot more oils a lot more often, right? So that's what they're doing to make money. Whereas a certified aromatherapist is going to most commonly recommend that you use oils diluted in a carrier, and the different dilution rates depend on your problem, your age, or they will recommend that you use oils in an inhaler. So for example, an inhaler may have 6 to 10 drops of different essential oils in it, and that can really last about 6 weeks before it needs to be refilled. So if the multi-level marketing companies were recommending inhalers, they would not make any money. So they don't. They want you to use a lot more of their oils and buy from them more frequently. And they often make you feel rewarded for buying more frequently by giving you, quote, freebies. But a certified aromatherapist will almost never recommend a neat application or ingestion. It's very, very unsafe to put oils directly on your skin most of the time. You can very quickly get a sensitivity to particular oils from having used them neat. Ingestion is extremely unsafe because you don't know what is in those oils, but even if you do, that is not something that an aromatherapist is going to recommend. I've read stuff from aromatherapists who have been in the industry for decades, and they have yet to recommend a neat application, and they probably never will. I know I never will. If you need something that's internal, an aromatherapist is probably going to just suggest you go see an herbalist. And I'll go into why on the next slide. Also, uses on children, seniors, and our pregnant women are very specific, and you don't see that those safety warnings published by the big companies. And uses of oil should be tailored very specifically to who you are and what age you are, like I said, but also your personality is a big factor. For example, if I am working with someone who has depression, but they're very anxious, I'm going to recommend a different set of oils to them than perhaps someone who is depressed and exceptionally melancholy. So even your personality should be a factor in what you use on yourself, and aromatherapists are going to understand that. Whereas the stuff that the multi-level marketing companies put out is just sort of a one-size-fits-all. And that's just, in my view, very inappropriate, unsafe, and quite misleading. So consider the concentration of an oil. Whether it's been distilled or cold pressed, it is a highly concentrated substance. For something like lemon, that means that the oil is from the rinds of 20 to 30 lemons in one drop. And that's nuts if you consider that the multi-level marketing companies are recommending that you put a drop of lemon in a glass of water and drink that. You would never eat 30 lemon rinds in one sitting, right? You'd probably get sick. You'd probably get a belly ache. Doing that over time can lead to acid reflux and ulcers. There's actually an active study going on at the time of this recording by one of the professional aromatherapist trade magazines about how many people have problems, health problems now from using oils internally because it's what they read was safe from the multi-level marketing companies. So this is a very big deal. People are not supposed to have that much of one thing at a time. So like I said, we'll recommend if you have an internal problem, probably we'll say go see an herbalist because they're going to give you the safer amount of something that's not highly concentrated, that has been tested and verified throughout the years that you can swallow that thing and it's going to help you and not hurt you. So using these highly concentrated oils directly on your skin in a neat application or swallowing them can lead you to develop a, quote, allergy to them over time, which is just a sensitivity because you've been exposed to something so concentrated. It can happen the first time you use an oil, or it can happen to you over the years. And that's important to know about. If you want to be able to use oils over the course of your lifetime, you want to use them in small diluted amounts, and that's kind of hard to do on your own. So again, I recommend that you work with a certified aromatherapist because they're going to be able to give you the exact dosage and dilution that you need in order to deal with whatever issue that you have, but also keep you safe in the long run. A lot of folks read something like, oh, this oil is good for this. Well, if 3 drops will get the job done, isn't 30 drops better, right? And more is not the merrier when it comes to essential oils. You want to use just the minimum amount that will get the job done. And that is not what the big companies are advocating, clearly, because they want you to buy more of their oils. So my concern with the popularity of essential oils the last couple years is that a lot of kids born recently will be, quote, allergic or highly sensitive to oils by the time they're in their teens because of the popular misuse of oils in recent years. I know mothers who have every good intention but will use oils directly on their children all the time, every day, and it's really scary to me because of the potential side effects of that in the short and the long term. Also, there are drug interactions that need to be considered. Most people in the United States are on some sort of medication, and common medications can have interactions with commonly used essential oils. And like I said before, even the personality of the user should be considered. Multiple chemical sensitivities are also a safety concern. A lot of folks are realizing that they're highly sensitive to all the toxic things in our environment and they get quite sick from it. So if you have an oil that was store-bought or from a multi-level marketing company, like I said, they're probably synthetic chemicals, which are going to cause problems for people with multiple chemical sensitivities, and it's probably going to exacerbate the problem. It could even spur that problem in people who don't yet have it if they're using highly concentrated synthetic chemicals directly on their skin or ingesting them over time. You can overload your system with too many chemicals, including essential oils. So your liver and kidneys have to process everything that you put on or into your body. So if you're always using these oils, you can actually tax your digestive system with too many essential oils. And just in terms of something less severe, some people just have aversions to certain smells. So that's something that an aromatherapist can consider. And for example, let's say that you don't like the licoricey kind of smell of star anise, then an aromatherapist is going to be able to recommend another oil that's going to have similar properties for you. So if you are going to use a diffuser, let's say before a party at your house, just make sure that you ask everybody if they're okay with it, because some people are just going to have an aversion to smells. And again, don't use essential oils around pets. Some oils are a little bit okay in around a dog, because dogs have a digestive system far more similar to ours than a lot of our common household pets. But for example, there are basically no oils that you can use on a cat or around a cat. You can really make your cat sick. And there's been a sharp increase in recent years of folks sadly killing their pets, basically poisoning their pets because they've used essential oils that are okay for humans on their cat. So my point overall is, again, remember that there are very generic recommendations promoted by companies. It's a one-size-fits-all approach. So between that issue and the poor quality of most oils, folks may try aromatherapy and think that it doesn't work. The oils weren't the correct blend for their physiology or emotional state, and the oils are likely synthetic. And so then you're getting an oil that is not what you think you're really using, and then it's not going to work for you. And you may give up on aromatherapy. So if you're working with an aromatherapist, hopefully you'll have a much better experience and you'll get a higher quality oil and you'll see some results. Please don't trust companies that are multi-level marketing companies or have pre-made blends or offer regular sales. If they're doing those things, you know right away that they're just trying to make money off of you. They're not interested in quality. Many companies and social media users post misleading and unsafe practices. Many folks, again, I don't think they're trying to do anything bad. They're just going off of what they read from the companies and reposting it, repackaging it. But please don't get your information from the big companies or from hobbyists. Build in a relationship with a certified professional aromatherapist so that you can get high quality oils and help on how to safely use them. So I spoke before about the GCMS reports. These are some of the chemical families and components that we look for when we are looking at the chemical breakdown of oils that reputable companies sell. And if you are reading a GCMS report as an aromatherapist and you see components in that list that are not here, then you know that you've got synthetic chemicals in that blend or in that oil, and that's no good. But these are the common chemical families that we see in real essential oils from a real plant. So if you would like to pause the video here and read some of these, It is very interesting information, and these are across the board tested and understood uses of different chemical components. A lot of folks will say things like, well, there isn't any research on this stuff. Well, not really. In the United States, no. But there are peer-reviewed articles in reputable journals that have tested the uses of essential oils on folks, and a lot of them have come out of Europe. So we're just not as familiar with them here in the States. When you are blending oils for use on your own, again, I don't recommend that, but I am realistic in realizing that some people are just never going to work with an aromatherapist. They're just a DIY mindset. And I don't recommend that, but if you're going to do it, consider that there are different notes for essential oils. So that's the actual smell. To a certified aromatherapist, depending on your specialty, smell might be a secondary factor. So for me, I'm most interested in the therapeutic uses of oils. So I look at the chemical profiles, like in that last slide, to determine what oils I'm going to use to help somebody. And how good they smell is secondary to me. But for a lot of people, the smell is the most important thing, and that's fine. So just consider that top notes stimulate and clear your mind and uplift your energy. Examples of top notes, most notably, are the citrus oils. Middle notes are great for harmonizing your blends. They provide both physical and energetic balance. So that could be something like a lavender oil. And then your base notes are grounding, soothing, and harmonizing for your mind and body. And that could be something like sandalwood or cedarwood. Here are some reputable sources that I'm going to recommend to you. I would not go with the stuff that's out on social media, like I said, unless it's from, for example, aromahead.com or NAHA.org. So aromahead.com is where I got my certification from. There is so much good information on that website that's free. You don't have to be a certified aromatherapist to get a lot of information from them. And their social media posts are good. They have a nice Instagram and they have a nice YouTube page, and they actually discuss dilution and safety recommendations, tell you who it's safe to use the different things that they're recommending on. And also, they're not selling any oils. Neither Aromahead nor NAHA sell any oils, so that you know that they're not just trying to push a product on you, but they're actually interested in your safety, in the promotion of aromatherapy, safe aromatherapy as a whole. Aromaculture magazine is a trade magazine, but it's peer-reviewed and it's excellent. So I would recommend that you start reading that if you'd like to get more into essential oils. And if you are going to buy oils on your own, which I don't recommend, again, I'm really trying to stress that you work with a certified aromatherapist, but if you are going to buy some, I would recommend you buy them from Aromatherapy International. They're the most transparent company when it comes to letting you know what's in their products. They also don't do pre-made blends or have sales or give you freebies and stuff. You can tell they're a smaller company that is very interested in safety and quality. They are wholesale, so you would need to have some way to buy them. So let's say you own a yoga studio, you can use that to have the tax information to set up a wholesale account, or perhaps you're a chiropractor, you can buy them by using your tax information that way. Otherwise, I would find a certified aromatherapist on NAHA.org and contact that person so that they can help you buy oils from Aromatherapy International, or maybe another company that they recommend, but that's the one that I recommend, and they certainly aren't paying me to say that. I've just had tremendous success with using their oils. And if you're interested in contacting me, here are the different ways that you can find me. aromedy.muncie@gmail.com. I have an Instagram that's aromadyyogamuncie because I'm also a certified yoga instructor. If you are old-fashioned and you like a good old website, I have a lot of information at aromedy.wordpress.com. And if you like my page on Facebook, you can see I post videos and articles all the time that are just simple FYIs, just to try to get some good information out there on the uses of essential oils and some yoga things too. So thank you for your attention. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me using the information from the previous slide.